Hi, my name is Bailey Povse, and I will be presenting on poverty in Fiji. Fiji is an island nation in the South Pacific comprised of 333 islands and islandets. For more than 3,500 years, Fiji has been inhabited by Melanesian peoples. By the late 18th century, the population was mixed, with Melanesians and Polynesians. In 1847, Fiji became a British Crown colony. The first governor, Sir Arthur Gordon, saw himself as the protector of the Fijian people and thus initiated policies that benefited them without harming them, which led to the exploitation of Indo-Fijians. In 1970, Fiji gained its independence after 96 years as a British colony. The forest, minerals, and fish resources in these islands have led Fiji to become one of the most developed of the Pacific island economies. However, political changes over the past several years have challenged Fiji's economic growth. Since the first military coup in 1987, poverty has been on the rise. The coup caused political instability, which led to a decline in economic performance and a growing issue of poverty. Fiji's economy relies on tourism and exports, sugar being one of the main ones. The infrastructure and natural resources should support economic development, though, because of racial and governmental instability, it divides the country, thus leading political chaos to become one of the main causes of poverty. A divide was driven between the indigenous Fijians and the Indo-Fijians due to land rights and individual rights. These tense relationships caused enough instability to affect multiple coups d'etats. In 1987, indigenous Fijians overthrew the elected Indian-dominated coalition. In 2000, there was another coup in which indigenous Fijians removed Fiji's first prime minister of Indian descent. Fiji then experienced its fourth coup in a military takeover in 2006. 3 years later, Fiji was suspended by Commonwealth for failing to demonstrate progress toward a democratic government. These coups, some of which were increasingly violent, not only caused the country's international reputation to crash, but also led to major declines in tourism and major economic instability. The lack of political democracy and unclear economic policies are some of the major underlying causes of poverty. Although there were many claims that the economy would be revived, it is proven that the instability resulting from the series of coups since 1987 has set Fiji on a lower economic growth path. And the man in this picture is responsible for leading the 2000 coup. In Fiji, 45% of the population lives below the national poverty line. More than 2,500,000 people, according to the economic surveys. Over 50% of the population lives on less than $25 a week and cannot meet their basic needs. The increase over time is apparent. In 1977, 15% of the population were living below the poverty rate. In 1991, this increased to 25.2%. In 2003, to about 34.4%. Professor Bayan argues that the incidence of poverty is now more than 45% and approaching to 50%. According to the latest estimates, more than 140,000 individuals live in over 200 informal settlements. More than 13,000 of these native land leases will expire between 1997 and 2028. Meaning that if they are not renewed, at least 5 households are displaced for every expired lease. Due to lack of employment opportunities in rural parts of the country, in combination with unequal access to resources as well as opportunities to gain practical skills, more and more families find themselves moving to shanty towns and urban areas. Of the families that remain in rural Fiji, more than 75% live below the poverty line, and only 50% have access to clean drinking water and proper sanitation. Households with education below the secondary level are at greater risk of poverty. A significant percentage of individuals in Fiji do not attend a secondary school due to lack of income. According to Save the Children Fund, Fiji of 1998, 65% of the school dropouts are directly linked to poverty. The cost of transportation and school fees force families to stop sending their kids to school. Additionally, many of the schools are in poor conditions and need of basic materials. Nonetheless, in 2014, the government announced universal free access to primary and secondary education for all children, hoping to lower the rate of school dropouts. However, according to the Fiji Bureau of Statistics, the percentage of its population in poverty has been declining since 2002. Growth in tourism, including record-setting visitor arrivals, in combination with governmental support, has had the potential to help Fiji combat its current poverty levels and increase equality. Consistent exposure to institutionalized corruption, though, has prompted suspicion about the government's authenticity in trying to alleviate national poverty. Various international nonprofits and support from neighboring Australia and New Zealand have come to the country's aid. Organizations such as Save the Children, Habitat for Humanity, and Red Cross have focused increased efforts on the causes of poverty in Fiji. In addition, Australia and New Zealand have both committed to partnerships with Fiji in an attempt to develop agriculture, create highly skilled and educated workforce, increase private sector development, and cultivate democracy. With help from these encouraging forces, Fiji has gained new opportunities to combat its poverty rate and vastly improve the everyday lives of its citizens. And here we see a map of Fiji. And this was my presentation on poverty in Fiji. Thank you.